everyone, Stormy Strike here, and in this video I'm going to be telling you the story of how one Facebook message led to me driving over 1,000 miles and purchasing over 600 model horses. It all started with a message on Facebook from my friend Lisa in Washington, who I hadn't talked to or seen in a long time. She had the incredible luck of finding some Breyer models at a garage sale, but even more incredibly, she got to talking with the new owner of the house that held the garage sale and found out that there were hundreds of Breyer models they found in the attic, and they didn't know what to do with them. The original owner of the collection and the house was a collector of the name Judy Esteb, who unfortunately had passed away. The new owner of the house didn't know anything about horses, but realized that this collection wasn't worth just throwing away. Fortunately, he let Lisa come in and go through them. My friend Lisa also loves Breyer models, but she has been out of collecting for a while. She contacted me to see if I could help her identify and value the models to help the owner sell them, and also to see if I wanted to purchase any. I was of course happy to help, and despite not planning on buying any more Breyer models at that time, I was interested in purchasing at least some, but possibly a lot, or maybe even all of the collection, and have it shipped to California. My mom was the first to suggest that I should go up there and see the collection for myself if Lisa and the owner Michael would be okay with that. After discussing it with my parents and several messages later, I was planning a completely impromptu road trip to Washington from Southern California with my dad. And so the road trip began. One way is almost a 1,200-mile drive, which typically takes us about 2 days. I should note that we are very familiar with taking this particular road trip. We typically do it every year to visit family. In fact, we did this trip just a few weeks before in June. While we didn't plan to do it again so soon, it felt like something that we could manage to do again. For this particular trip, I didn't take that many pictures or videos going up, so the images you'll be seeing on screen of the drive up are actually going to be primarily from when we drove up in June. When we took our trip in June, I also had brought my nicer camera, and so those pictures and videos look a lot better. For this trip, I decided not to bring my nice camera because we were trying to bring as little as possible. I didn't want to deal with the stress of lugging my expensive camera around, so all of the pictures and videos of the collection I'm going to be showing you in this video are all from my phone and therefore not the greatest quality. Anyway, we had left early on Wednesday, August 18th, and then managed to get to Washington on Thursday, August 19th in the afternoon. On that day, we met up with Lisa and began the momentous task of going through hundreds of models. We weren't able to get a total head count of the collection, but I estimate that there were around 800 or more models. I had originally wanted to buy the whole collection, aside from whatever models that Lisa wanted to keep, of course. But it quickly became apparent that there was no way we could take every single one of the models home in our van, and there were still just kind of too many to try and ship back to California. Plus, I was already dealing with my own lack of model horse space at home, therefore I figured it best and less stressful for me in the long run if I only took the models that I wanted the most and that could fit into our van. By the time we had got there, Lisa had already went through the majority of the models earlier, picking out the ones that she wanted for her collection. And then for the boxes of the ones that she hadn't went through yet, we went through those ones together. It was so much fun getting to go through them and see what surprises awaited. It was also just really fun getting to talk horses and models with Lisa. It was really hard for me to show just how many there were in these pictures and videos, by the way. I tried to kind of capture the whole gist of them, but I didn't even quite capture them all. There was so much to go through and so much to pack away in such a short amount of time that getting pictures and videos really wasn't my main focus, so I'm sorry there's not more of that in this video, but maybe you can get a rough idea of the scope of this collection we were dealing with. The first day that I was there was rather overwhelming. I wanted to take home everything, but I knew we couldn't take home everything, so I picked out my favorites and then set aside the ones I was on the fence about. The second day, Thursday, was still very overwhelming and also extremely exhausting. I ended up spending the entire day going through and packing models for about 10 hours straight. That whole time, I never once sat down or took a break, but I didn't even realize that much time had went by. I was so engrossed and focused in on all of these models. Our original plan was to be done and have the car fully packed on Thursday night so we could leave the next morning, but even that wasn't enough time to do everything, so I ended up needing the morning of the following day to finish everything up. So I also ended up spending all of Friday morning going through the last bit of models and packing them all away. After we packed up the car, I paid for the lot and we headed back home. In total, I spent about 18 hours over the course of 3 days going through Judy's collection. While I never met her, I do feel like I got to know her a little through her collection. She clearly loved animals. Of course, she loved horses, but she also had many other animal models, like dogs, cats, wolves, deer, and even a cow and buffalo. She collected both vintage and modern models. She liked to tack her models up as there were many of them that were found with tacks still on them. She seemed to like a variety of horse breeds and types, from stock horses to warm bloods, drafters to ponies, but I would guess she especially liked Arabians and Mustangs, as there were many Arabian and Mustang models in her collection. Based on the different congas in her collection, it looks like she really enjoyed collecting models on the Sham, Indian Pony, Messenger Series Classics, and Fighting Stallion molds. It also wasn't just Breyer models she collected. She also had many Peter Stones, some Trail of the Painted Ponies models, and even a couple Black Horse Ranch models. I believe that Judy did attend Breyerfest in 2008, as there were several little swag items from that year and several Breyerfest 2008 special runs. She may have even been a Breyerfest volunteer that year, as she did have the 2008 volunteer model. It was clear she loved her collection. Some models had hang tags on their feet or labels on their bellies identifying their names. Her stablemates were found individually wrapped with utmost care in paper towels and wax paper. It seemed she liked to dabble in customizing, as there were several bodies that had been prepped for painting and several Breyer craft kits that had yet to be opened. I hope she'd be happy to know that her collection did not get thrown away or dumped at a donation center. Her collection is going to collectors that will cherish and care for them. Even the new house owner kept a few models to display around the house in honor of her and her love of models. While this journey was exhausting and unexpected, it was completely worth it. In a way, it felt like Breyerfest, getting to travel to somewhere, to see so many models, and hang out with a horsey friend. Overall, it felt like a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity that I just could not pass up. And it wasn't just the opportunity to purchase a model horse collection, but the opportunity to rescue it, to salvage it, to let it and Judy's love of models live on through the lives of others. That wraps up this video, but the story doesn't end here. Join me in a lengthy video series where I'll be going through each box of the over 600 models I bought from Judy's collection. I'm going to take each and every single model out and share them all with you. From the tiniest of stablemates to the biggest of drafters, you'll get to see them all. Be sure to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on those videos. You can also follow me on social media for Breyer news and random updates and photos. Special thanks to Lisa, Michael, and my parents for making getting this collection possible. Thank you all for watching. I hope you have an awesome day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye everyone!